Hey, how's it going, YouTubers? Anyways, thanks for joining us. Today, we are here. See the camper behind us? Well, we're in a special place right here. It's called Custer, and it's in Idaho. And this is an old gold mining town from the 1800s. You can see the gold Aspens is all that's left and some buildings here, but it's absolutely brilliant. It's beautiful. That's the old schoolhouse. They've refabbed some of these homes, but you can see some of these older cabins and stuff. These are from the 1800s. This was an old saloon. They've kind of done a little bit of this to keep it, you know, so that it lasts, because the weather up here is brutal. You know, we're talking 20 feet of snow up here, craziness, but you can see a lot of the old gold mining equipment they had up here, big old steam boilers and all sorts of different stuff. But we're gonna take a walk around the town here today. We're gonna look at these aspen trees. It's the fall here in Idaho, so it's October, and look at these trees, listen to them. Just something special here. And again, I haven't done the tour of the camper. We're going to do that one of these days, but you can see the new truck and the new camper, and that's a fold down camper top, so there's plenty of room to sleep in there. Wanagi and I survive. It's got heater, shower, toilet, stove, everything. So you can see all these used to be homes down in here, and then right up that hillside right there is an avalanche chute. And back in the 1800s, a huge avalanche came down that chute up there and took out like 4 or 5 families, and some fatalities back in the 1800s. Tragic, but part of the history of this town. Little bit of road traffic. Come on, buddy. She's chasing mice or rabbits or something. I'm not sure. You keep touring. I'm gonna just do a loop with this real fast. Okay. So hey, so look on this side, that's the old blacksmith shop right there. And there's an old truck parked in front of it. This is the old stamp mill. You see the stamp mill over here? And they would run the bigger pieces of rock from the mine in here. And those big heavy arms that are sticking up like pistons, those would slam down and crush the rock so that they could get the gold out of the rock. So I'm gonna show you this. Hey, you gotta pay attention, okay? So look at this. It was made in Salt Lake City back in the late 1800s, and it run on a steam engine. It had a big belt drive on that big round wheel right there from this steam engine. See that? And it would run that big old, looks like a railroad card thing on the end. That iron thing was a big steam engine, and then that big wheel there would turn, and it would cause those pistons to drop and crush the rock. And you gotta pay attention, honey. And then there's just all this cool old mining cars. Look at this. And then they would run the crushed ore through here, and you see these screens here, and this would make it finer and finer, the rock and the stuff they crushed in the stamp mill. Then they'd run through here with water, and that would actually separate the gold from the dirt, and all the dirt and rocks that weren't as heavy as gold would fall out of there. But check it out, they have that screening. See that metal screening? It's all rusted. And then down in the bottom, it would drop down through a sluice down there, and they would get the gold separated out. And this is the old steam engine. So they would burn coal or burn wood most likely, and then steam would come through these portholes, just like an old railroad, basically a railroad car engine. And it would make that pressure from the steam would cause pistons to go up and down, run the belt, and then run the belt on that stamp mill. Pretty cool. And then this is some sort of old school building or church. The General Custer Mill. Ooh. Okay, come on, buddy. We'll just walk right up the back here. That's the assay office, ASAY. So you would bring your ore samples to this building, and there'd be a guy in there, and he would do a chemical process to tell you how much gold was in each you know, pound of dirt or whatever, so you knew whether you were on a good claim or not. And we're just gonna walk up the hillside up here, because there's an old historic stone building. Come on, honey, this way. Pretty cool. But lots of just antique debris, old broken bottles through here, all sorts of stuff. Even in the winters, in the 1800s, you can see. So it's kind of collapsed in, but that's the old door there. And they might have been pulled all the slate out here. And this is the foundation, or like the walls of it. And then they would have some sort of wood roof on the top, or canvas roof even, with a peak to it, like a A-frame, and would survive the winter here. Pretty amazing. Right on, well, we're gonna check some more stuff out here in the town. We'll see you at the next stop here. So how cool is this? Look, it's old glass from back in the 1800s probably. Maybe like, it's got a stamp on the bottom, so I don't know what old. And then see the purple stuff? That's definitely old. But this little bottle here is amazing. Probably an old, maybe an old liquor bottle or medicine bottle or something. Kind of neat. So this is a favorite place I come to, and every time I come up here is a living organism. This whole aspen grove is a living organism. How amazing is that? Come on. Come here. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? So beautiful. And it's fall right now. Just beautiful place. Beautiful. Listen to the leaves. Hey, how's it going? So, look at this. This is like a lunar landscape. You see this? Look at all these rocks piled up. These are just huge dredge piles. Look at this, massive boulders and all this stuff. Look, I mean, they're huge. These boulders are bigger than my body, some of them. And it just goes for miles down this canyon. Well, this canyon used to be all flooded. They backed up the Salmon River and the stream that runs through this valley, and built a huge dam. And then all that water eventually, over like a few months, 6 months, 7 months period, backed up through this valley, right? And made a shallow, basically, lake through here. And then what they did is, these are gold mining dredge piles, right? Well, look at the size of these boulders, are massive. And you gotta wonder, well, what kind of dredge, Billy, did that. Well, I'm gonna show you what kind of dredge. I'm being kind of theatrical, but look at this. This was built piece by piece, brought in here by horseback, right? Look at this. Massive 3-story, 4-story dredge. It's floating in water, but that's the only water source. This is where it finished. See those buckets there? Those big iron buckets going up into the main structure? Well, those would turn and they would, or actually this way, and they would scoop up all the gravel here and bring it up into this big building that's floating, right? It's a boat, basically, a dredge. And then it would get all that ore and dirt would get processed through sluice boxes and metal screens and stuff. And then finally what would be left is the gold, because it was a heavier material. And then this back piece, you see this? That arm thing, that would dump all the extra overburden. And this is overburden. Big rocks like this to small rocks like this to the dirt. And that's all overburden. So they would take the gold out and leave all this stuff behind, right? Well, through this whole valley is what I'm saying, is there's huge piles, and if you look at them, you can see them from space. There are rows and rows of this rock. This overburden is what it's called. It just goes on for about 8 or 9 miles down this valley. And so they spent years up here, and they would mine with this thing and get all the gold out of here. And then eventually they just ran out of room and finished off the valley. The Custer gold town we just visited was up that draw from an earlier episode. And yeah, so we'll take a quick walk around and peek at this, and then we're gonna go off to the next ghost town. Pretty amazing. So look at this. These are the big old ore buckets. Look at these huge, massive iron buckets. Look, and they just keep going all the way up here into that big top, into that machine up there, almost 2 stories up. And then this was just a massive crane with cables and stuff. And so right here, see how this bucket, this is a bucket right here in my feet, just like this bucket right here. And it's full of gravel, right? So all these buckets would be scooping up that gravel and taking them right all the way up to the top there, and then process it and then spit it out the back end, leaving the gold in the machine, in the dredge. And it's called the Yankee Fork dredge. And it's absolutely historically amazing. Look at this. Is that just beautiful? Right on. And look at these big old wheels. That's half of one that broke in half. Just incredible. History, folks. Gold mining town history. Ghost towns, gold prospecting. Woo! Miner 49er. Anyways, yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Always a necessity in camping, a campfire. And then under the full moon, I don't know if you guys could see that, but there's a full moon tonight. But the campfire is just wonderful, so warm, lots of coals, good heat. You can't even probably see me, but we're camped in this amazing place. You can hear the river, listen. Might even be able to see it with the moonlight coming out. can see the moonlight shimmering on the water down here, possibly. Maybe. And there's the moon up there. Some light on my face. So pretty amazing trip here up in Stanley, Idaho. Hot springs, adventure, ghost towns, and we brought you along with us. So we'll catch you next episode. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it to get notified of future videos, and leave comments down below, because Wanagi loves to hear from you, and so do I. Have a great evening. We are going to have a great evening campfire and then hit the hay.